Welcome back, everybody. Michael's here is giving the at-home store a run for their money in terms of the early Halloween offerings this year. I've seen some pictures online of other people having found merchandise similar to what we saw early last year at Michael's with, well, last year was kind of a retro theme, lots of oranges and pinks. I'm not sure it's so retro this year, but I did see a lot of pink making a return. So let's go inside and check it out and see what we can find. And that did not take long at all. Here we go. It's pink, shades of pink this time, so not really the pink and orange color of the previous years. And one thing to note is last year when I did my early walkthrough of Michael's and we saw that shocking merchandise, because honestly nobody was expecting that sort of retro themed Halloween decor, which I honestly kind of liked and I thought about actually doing in part of my house, but didn't get around to it. The merchandise was gone by the time I came through a little bit later in the season to film my follow-up walkthrough with the rest of the merchandise. So I'm not sure, maybe they were just taking a chance and wanted to see how well that would fly, and I guess it must have. They must have sold out of it pretty quickly. So I don't know how long this stuff will last, which is the point I was ever so slowly trying to get to. So if you see something that you like, you probably want to go ahead and try and get it early. This kind of gives me sort of 80s vibes, I guess, this year. If maybe last year was 60s and 70s, and now they're just trying new decades. Maybe next year it's going to be the 90s. Who knows? Look at all the little cats. I'm not sure that this stretching cat really gives me a whole lot of Halloween vibes, though. I kind of wonder how many people are going to be buying those hot pink spiders, but who knows? I love that sort of disco ball effect with the pumpkin. I used a disco ball in my display last year just to kind of shoot the light around part of the display. It would be kind of cool to have a disco pumpkin instead of the regular disco ball. I might have to buy one of those just to see how well that effect would work. Looks like that's some sort of purse there, which honestly goes well with this theme, but is not really decor related. So for our purposes, we're going to move on to these cool, sparkly cat and dog skeleton pillows. You know me, I love pillows. I change them out every year inside my house to go with whatever theme I'm going with. Usually I like to recommend just buying pillow covers that you can get for cheap, but sometimes I splurge and buy the actual pillows. And if I did a skeleton theme, I would love that cat and dog. Did you see that little ghost, the sort of towel ghost? We'll come back to him in a moment, I think. But here we have some skeletons with the sort of dangly arm leg bits. I think those were pretty popular last year. I remember seeing them sell out, or they were really hard to find, I think. What was it, in Marshalls or Target? Anyway, oh, look at the cute little dogs. But I am in love with this towel-shaped ghost holding on to his candy corn. That is just super adorable. I almost think that we could DIY our own towel ghosts, but for how cute he is. And I'm sorry, I don't know how much he costs, but I would just buy him. And you know me, I don't tend to dwell on the pricing too much, so I apologize to those of you who will inevitably leave me a comment saying you didn't show the prices. Well, I just want to give you an idea of what the merchandise is in the store, and then if you really see something that you like, I'm sure you can find the pricing on their website. Here in the end cap, they're starting to put out the Halloween themed, I don't know what these things are, for your centerpieces or plant displays or wreaths that you want to make. That I don't have time for anymore. I'm all about just buying the nice, beautiful crafts that other people have done. But you know me, occasionally I will do my own DIYs, and if you are interested in checking any of those videos out, be sure to check out all my playlists. Of course, this time of the year, most of these videos are going to be these store walkthroughs, so we can check out all of this fun merchandise, which really, in my opinion, like I kind of record these, not only just for you, but for my own self as well, because I see all of this wonderful merchandise. I'm always hesitant. You know, I take forever to completely 100% decide on my theme, and a lot of it comes down to what I find in the stores. So I don't like to commit too early, but these videos really help me go back too and see what it was I saw in the different stores when I finally do decide on a particular theme, that I can easily remember what was where and go back for it and hope it's still there, because like I said earlier, some of these things go by fast and you really should buy them as soon as you see them. I love this artwork that they have at Michael's. So that was, I mean, it's not really, obviously it's mass produced. I can't remember how they do it, but you know, they do some sort of hand painting with it as well. They had some really cool witch themed art last year. Looks like they're they're focusing a lot on ghosts this year, so I'm expecting we're probably going to see maybe a lot more ghost artwork as well. This, of course, is me, too cute to spook. Oh my gourd, that is all in my head. But anyway, oh look, they have some sort of sheet-covered dogs and cats. That's so popular this year. At the Crate and Barrel, I know people were going nuts over those, and admittedly, they are really cool looking. I think the ones at Crate and Barrel obviously are a lot larger than these little figurines, but we'll be doing a walkthrough of there pretty soon as well, much like all the different Halloween stores, so again, we can remember what is where. I'm just noticing this backdrop here of the different shades of orange, kind of like the different shades of pink we saw on the other side of the aisle. They're just not mixing the pink and the orange together to give that unique look like last year. And when it comes to unique, I mean, a lot of the stuff that we're looking at is so, cute and adorable and decidedly unique, I think. I like that little cat. But it all seems just like little figures that you might put here and there, not really for a dedicated haunter to find stuff to build a whole theme around. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just feeling a little witchy. I guess, though, if you're thinking of just, color as your theme, I mean, obviously then you can have a lot going on, but it's all just these disjointed pieces. Oh, is that an advent calendar for Halloween? I definitely need one of those. Anyway, I guess it boils down to, I don't think Michael's is really my cup of tea when it comes to the Halloween decor, but it's got fun stuff. Come in for a bite. I just kind of feel like other stores might have things a little bit better. I mean, okay, we've got some interesting mugs that are specific to this color theme here. But like we saw the plates with the spider webs and whatnot on it. But if you're going to go to Michael's, you're probably going to be overpaying. Of course, you've got to get the coupons so you can save, which drives me absolutely insane. Why not just price it the way it should be rather than make me go and sign up for emails just to get a coupon to buy my Halloween products? So I tend to skip all of that and go to the stores where you can find that same sort of spider plate theme, like TJ Maxx and Marshall's, the Home Goods, where they're going to have a lot more selection and, in my opinion, a little bit better products. There, I said it, although this is kind of fun. It's so tailor-made, though, to a specific type of haunter. It just doesn't appeal to the wide masses, which, when I'm looking for that piece to go in my display, I don't think I'm going to find it here, because my display is probably not going to be a skeleton figurine holding a baby, or, a skeleton dog with a pink collar there. Skeletons in the bathtub. I mean, how many years have we seen them with the skeletons in the bathtub? I guess if you just want like a little piece to put in the bathroom, fine. But see, now this I kind of like, right? We've got the vampire fang mouth that was, I'm assuming that was like a bath mat. So if you were doing your bathroom in this sort of pink vampire theme, you can maybe kind of build it with a few of these things. But it would be too matchy-matchy because there were so many lips with the fangs and not just a lot of pieces to build more of a whole theme. Anyway, let's move on to my favorite part of the Michael's experience, and that are these Limax sort of, I think they're Limax, right? The little Halloween Town displays that they change out every year. I adore these things. I kind of wish I had started collecting them years ago, but they are so expensive. But I admire anybody who can build a whole Halloween Town out of this stuff. I just love looking at it. They're so awesome and so detailed, but I don't have room. I would spend so much time putting this thing together every year. And then, of course, you know me, I don't like doing the same thing 2 years in a row, so of course I'd have to change it up and not, then that makes it hard. You can't build upon the same display year after year. And with products like these, I think that's really what you want to do to flesh out your whole town. At least I assume. I don't know. Do you build out these little Limax villages? Let me know in the comments below how you handle them. But I would love to see the displays. I know I remember seeing someone's video, I think a year or two ago, that had a humongous Halloween display out of these villages. And it was just amazing, and I admire him so much, but I think that's where I am going to live, just vicariously through other people. I will say I wish that they had this stuff going. I see switches and things, but I tried pressing a couple buttons, honestly. Nothing happened. I don't know. It's probably just not plugged in wherever the main plug is. It was also right about this point in my shopping experience that I saw two children and their mother pass right by here. The children, of course, got very excited by seeing the Halloween stuff, and the mother said, "It seems kind of silly that they have this out right now. It's so early." And I just wanted to slap that woman silly. No, it's not. We need to see what's coming out for the season so we can plan for it appropriately. All right, before we go, I want to say a special thank you to the patrons who help support the channel. If you're interested in joining my Fright Club, be sure to check out a link to my Patreon page in the description below. And that's going to do it for today, but as the sign here says, stay tuned because there will be lots more store merchandise for us to explore coming soon, here and in other stores. So until then, take care everyone, and happy haunting.